John, did you have time to take your belt back to like a hotel or anything before you went to
Oh
dinner?
yeah.
You
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. I had to go back to the Airbnb, regroup.
See, this is how I can tell you don't think things through. You can go to the Airbnb, you can get refreshed. That's not the issue. You take the belt with you. Didn't you not get an exclusive, very prominent bag that you can bring it with?
Sit back. Yeah, I got that. That was perfect because we immediately put the belt into the bag.
That's where it's supposed to go. But you know where it's supposed to go? With you to Fugo de Chao. Because when you go there, you just pull this move out. John, you beat a bunch of dudes for one of the best, most prestigious tournaments in the world, and you left your belt at home. That cheesecake would have been comped twice, three times over when you just go, oh, and is there anything for this guy over here? Because then you get the extra sauce, sir.
No, I couldn't do that. I had too much shame to do that to go to
Oh, John,
photo shoot.
okay. Hey, hold on. I'm taking you off. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Sparza, coming to you with another great installment of the Grappling Hour. I hope you're having a great day. Check this out. Our guest, a monster, a sweetheart, probably crying right now because he's so excited to be on the show, but he's getting prepped to be on. We're going to pull him back here in a second. You guys may know him from ADCC, but before we get to him, a few reminders, my friends here. If you enjoy the show, I would love it if you like, comment, and subscribe wherever you are watching. What that means is you support the show. You want more people to see this interview. You enjoy the guest. You don't even have to like me. If you give me a like, it doesn't necessarily say you like me. It means you like the guest. There you go. You have your out. So there's that. And if you don't know what you want to comment on in the comment section, I will give you something to comment on by the very end of this show. So you will want to do those things in appreciation of us here at the show. Additionally, you can also check us out at patreon.com. At patreon.com/grappling hour, what do you get? Well, for $5 a month, you get to see my interviews 30 days before anybody else. And for a few extra dollars, you get extra bonus content not available anywhere else, including tape studies, a segment called Roast Raf, where people roast my competition footage, your favorite segment, not mine, and a segment called the Grappling Hour Challenge, where people get to actually pick a submission card at random. And if they land that on me in 2 minutes, they win. Unfortunately, they don't win up until then because I am just roasting them. That's my favorite segment when I don't get caught. Sometimes it happens. It's a really dumb segment, but we do it here. And I do it only for the people who pay. If you don't pay, I have no reason to break my arm. So there's that. All right, you can check those things out. Additionally, what other stuff do we got for you guys? We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got tank tops. And guess what? If you wear a tank top and you're on steroids, we don't care, provided it says Grappling Hour on it. Otherwise, I will call you Sada if it looks like you have suspectable gains. I'm not going to mention any names here on the show, possibly this person. But if he was wearing a Grappling Hour t-shirt, I wouldn't even care. I would just be like, Thor, strong, makes sense. Jon Blank is a beast. I'm not questioning how he got so strong because look at the man. Man's a specimen. So you can go ahead and go on over to rapsparsa.com/merch if you want to support the show. And last but not least, if you want to continue the discussions that we have here on the show, you can check us out on our Discord. All right. Now that I've questionably said that our guest is on steroids, even though he's just a strong AF and mofo, I'd like to go ahead and bring him back on. It is so nice to see our friends go out, do side quests, and then return back to the scene in dominant fashion. And I have to tell you, I was pretty thrilled when I saw our friend was making his way through trials because, in case you forgot, here is your reminder because your ADCC Trials champion from the East Coast, this past October was none other than longtime friend of the show, Jonathan Thor Blank. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
Dude, happy, great to see you. I'm so thrilled to see you back and emerging and thriving. John, the first question from everybody in their minds, where have you been, sir? Because it feels like we haven't seen you in a minute and that you
Yeah,
just came back and emerged out of the shadow to then terrorize a group of new grapplers who thought they were going to get that spot at ADCC.
yeah. It's been a minute. I haven't been competing nearly as much as I'd like to over the past couple of years. I've been injured a lot. That's been my biggest problem. Is just like figuring out how to be a full-time athlete and not have my body break down. Um, yeah, that's basically what's been keeping me out of competition. It's more injuries than anything.
Well, you are lucky in this one way, and that the missus, does she not do body repair? Is she not able to
Yeah.
help you with that? Because I see that she does like therapy, massage therapy.
So, like massage therapy. Yep, yep. So I definitely try and make her work on me a little bit, but when she does it for a living, it's hard to get her to do it when she comes home.
I can imagine that, but I also think she's looking at you like, are you paying? Because if
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
paying, I'm so sorry. I got to take care of these other clients. It's like when my wife,
No, and I totally get it, but yeah, yeah, but yeah, she definitely has helped out a lot with that, though.
well, I don't want to spend too much time harping on that, but I would like you to pass on some congratulations because your wife has been killing it in as well. Did I just see she also got her black belt recently?
She did. She got her black belt at our holiday party this year. She's been, a brown belt for like 3 years now. She just took second at Worlds this year too, so she's
Right.
been doing good. She's been killing it, and couldn't deny her any longer. She's a black belt.
That's so awesome. You now are a two black belt household. Are
Yeah.
we looking at your cats getting black belts anytime soon, sir? Like, what is next for you guys?
Yeah, right. No, we're just gonna keep training and keep training these killers over at 10th Planet Bethlehem, 10th Planet Allentown, trying to get these guys up there.
That is super good to hear. And the reason why I like this though, sir, is before we get back to your accomplishments, I just did want to acknowledge you and your missus, Laura. You just are wonderful people. I love the fact that you guys are together. It's so fun to see you both thriving. So, what's funny is that when you won, I just sent Laura a message and I was like, well, I think he's got to know I'm messaging him, but I'll let you guys enjoy some time. And she was just like, oh,
He did
that's
mention
so
it
dope.
was
So let me ask this, because now you've had all these injuries, you've had all these moments. What did it feel like to go back to the top of the mountain? You've had some
oh
incredible success in a plethora of different fields in the world of jiu-jitsu, but to go at one of the hardest tournaments possible and
yeah.
earn your ticket back, what did that feel like for you?
Dude, so that was one of the best highs you could get right there. Fucking winning that tournament that, there's 100 something dudes in the bracket and you're the one that comes out on top, especially with all the bullshit that I went through over the years with it. It was, it was great. It was so much validation and like, just proof to myself that I still belong here. It was one of the best feelings there is.
It's funny to me because not to short side you or anybody in the division, but I do look at a division like that as somebody who will open a bracket every once in a while and go, okay, there's some people I got to beat here. There's some work to be done. So, not for nothing, man. You picked some monsters to go through and you looked very back at ease. What do you think brought you back and helped you get right back to where you were? When you have all these injuries and you have all these setbacks or anything like
Yeah.
that, you
I'll,
didn't
I'll be
look
real.
like it though.
No, I'll be real. It took a while to come back. Like I did have some rough matches there for a while, like when I came back from injuries and stuff. And a lot of that was because, when you get injured a couple times and like, you're out of it and then you take a hard loss or shit like that, you start doubting yourself, and like the biggest thing at trials was that I started believing in myself a little bit again. And I had somebody say something to me the week before. I was up at Essential Training. I go up there on Tuesdays, and the one coach up there, Coach John and JT, kind of said to me, they're like, "Yo, like, dude, you're gonna do this. You know, you can do this. Like, there's no like I try. There's no I think I'm going to win. You got to just go in there like you're doing it. There's no I think. And you know, I started really kind of meditating on that a little bit that week and the couple days leading up, and that mindset's really what got me through that tournament more than anything, I feel.
I'm so happy to hear this because there is a video of you at a poolside when you did come up short.
Yeah,
And
slamming beers.
I just thought, okay, it's pretty funny, but I don't know that I want to see that again because it's just in a place where I go, once is funny. The third time,
Yeah,
I'm like, do you need help, sir? Are
yeah,
you
right.
okay?
It's cry for help, John. Oh, that's so funny. That video was that was all Renee. Renee Sosa was with us on that trip. And you know Renee, he's a fucking influencer type, and I'm just not that type at all. He's like, dude, we gotta make some video. Like, and I forget what he was saying, but he talked me into it. And he's like, we had came up with that idea, like you're saying, to slam the beers. And when I did that, they just both went like right the fuck up my nose too. It was that was such a mess, but it came out good.
I have to say, sure, Renee, we can make fun of him forever. But for you, the reason why it works is because you're not that person. I can't
Exactly.
explain this enough. There are so many influencers, and I want to do a sketch now of how you'll have somebody at the gym teaching, or it's going to be like, hey, open rolling. And then you're going to hear the following phrases. Somebody's going to be like, hey, do you mind if you film this? And then they film it. Somebody behind them is filming them. Somebody behind them is filming them. Because I've realized the difference between when I would do social media stuff like that and
Mm,
present day is I feel like I had way more shame in my head to interrupt a class. So I didn't mind doing it once in a while, but this shit's
mm.
happening every day at
You
certain
have
gyms
Jim?
with not with us, but like
Yeah,
I watch
that's
certain
pretty good.
people and I literally look at them like,
Ugh.
oh my God, how much time have they done doing this? Because literally, if I tell the kids, like, hey, I'm going to do this like WWE move to you, that's like once every couple months or something
Yeah.
where I'm taking time out of the class or asking them to do something. And I feel like I'm so sorry, everybody. I you are all abating my stupid idea. And then I'll see literally two guys walking from the mats behind each other, like boop, boop, boop. And I
Mm.
go, okay, that's kind of funny. But they did five of those this week. Okay. I'm just old at this point. So that's why for
Uh,
you, keep doing what you do because I did find that hilarious. And you
a
sold
very occasional one.
it. The sad part is you do have to feed the algorithm. You have to feed the beast every
Yeah,
once in a while.
yeah. Everyone tells me that, and I'll start one of these days.
Well,
Start on it.
you're also a pretty busy man. Obviously, we'll get back to talking about you and your gyms. But for right now, let's stay on ADCC for a second. I know we're a little far removed, and by the time people see this for free on YouTube, it'll be even longer. They might already be at the next trials.
Hey,
I'd
that'll be
love.
for it.
What's that?
That'll be a perfect time for it when the next trials is, when West Coast trials is.
You get what I'm saying. And by the way, I'm a little pissed because I just realized now that West Coast Trials, they announced they're going to be in LA. I was like,
Yeah.
dope. But I'm going to be at WrestleMania. So
Ah,
thanks, everybody. Super happy you guys did that. Nonetheless, hopefully I'll run into some friends on my way before and after. But for you, sir, let's talk about this. At what point did you say, I'm going back to ADCC trials? And then how long is that journey, that camp for you to actually go back there?
um. Well, I knew I wanted to go back. That was basically the plan for at the beginning of 25. Like it's a trials year. I got to get ready for that. That's the ultimate plan throughout the year. So I was kind of, prepping for it. I had done a couple competitions, a couple IBJJFs. I did an ADCC Open, and I had some good and bad results. And it was just the whole year leading up to it, but then like really I don't know, maybe like 6-8 weeks out was like, all right, let's buckle down, let's really get ready for this, let's get in shape. I think it was like after Pans that it was like, all right, let's
Mhm.
really buckle down for this.
That's fair. So after pans, that's when you know you're going back to the dance. What does a camp look like? Because, when I scrolled through your social media, when you're in a room prepping for something,
Mm,
you have people like JT Torres that you're
mm,
training with. And I'm like, those sound like awful days to me, if I'm being honest, because the talent in that room is so good. So, what does a camp look like for you currently?
So yeah, I definitely spend a lot of time up at Essential. I try and go up there at least once a week. It's like a 2 hour drive from where I'm at, but it's one of the best rooms out here. Yeah, I'm really good friends with those guys. I've been going up there for years at this point, so it's like a second home up there. So that's always really, really good. And then besides that, it's mainly just training with like our guys. Like I live in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I train at Bethlehem and Allentown. They're the two neighboring cities out here, and it's just it's just our guys out here. We don't have as many big names as some of these other gyms, but we got some like really good dudes who are just solid training partners and always down to give me a good hard round and get me ready for this stuff. So like it might not be the biggest names always, but it's some real reliable guys that I really owe a lot for getting me ready for trials.
I have to ask this because I'm realizing I'm coming up on being 4 years at a coach at this one gym.
Mm,
And for me, there's pleasant surprises when I see my goons going out to start to compete now in this past year and
hmm
they're getting success. And there's a
hmm
part of me that's like, oh, they're getting good. Oh,
Feeling.
when did that happen? Like, I just
Yeah.
thought they were the goons that were never going to get good at this. And I was wondering for you at the high level you compete at, how long did you feel it took for your guys to get from maybe these people who were just coming in the door or who had a little bit of talent for maybe other sports to really becoming these dependable people, whether they were lower belts or not, to really helping you become this ready and equipped grappler in this very high profile competition?
Huh. That's a tough one to answer because, I feel like you can get a good round and you can get good training with anybody who's like at least like a fresh blue belt, as long as they have like some experience. Let's say like a year, 18 months or so, they'll be like, I can get something out of it. Like, I might not be going competition pace, obviously, or doing my best things, but I can still get something out of training with them. But for like the guys to get like actually like good, like perfect example. We had a team tournament out here. It was on the East Coast. It was in like Long Island in Jersey. And that was right before trials, and they did it where it was like 16 different schools that all had a squad of five, so 16 quintet teams. And our team, 10th Planet finishers, Bethlehem Allentown, our guys won the whole thing out of the 16 schools. And like Marcelo's had a team, like Tom DeBlas has had a team. There were like some good other teams. So like to see that was like crazy. And it's like it was purple belt and under too. So all those guys, I think the guy who had been training on that team the longest was Jimbo, and Jimbo's maybe been training like 6 years, but like some of the other guys on that team have only been training like 2 years. But that's like our one dude Victor, who like he was a beast wrestler at like Lehigh, so like
Mm.
he's doing great already after 2 years, But that was kind of cool to see.
How stoked were you? Because I've seen you have some really big moments and celebrate. On that scale of celebration, how stoked were you as a professor to see your students at that tournament kill it?
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one because, like I said, so it was 16 teams. So it was one weekend they did the first 2 rounds, and then the next weekend it was the next 2 rounds. And it's like it just like kept building up over the whole week. Like me talking with the squad, the five guys, and just being like, "Yo, guys, we're gonna fucking do this. You win." I kept telling them, I was like, "If you win, we're going out for scallops, dude." That was like the joke all week that I was gonna take them for scallops. And like when they fucking won, we were so hyped. We were down in Jersey City. Our buddies were there. It was a good time. We ended up, we didn't get scallops. We went to Fogo de Chao, and it was just like, oh, it was so much fun. They were hyped. They were on fire with it. And it's like, they won a little bit of money too. They each got like $500 or something like that. And it's like, I remember the first time I made money off competing, how hyped I was. And it's like, I got to see that in them. And it was like, yeah, it was a cool night. It was really, really good.
John, I like you a lot. Let's start with that sentence. But if you
Appreciate
promise me scallops, and you didn't say scallops, I don't care if I went to Fugoga Chow, I would 100% be like, Coach,
We need scallops.
this contract says scallops. So this
Scallops
is
are
an
on my way.
adorable appetizer, but when we get in scallops, sir.
It was because they see I fucking make scallops. I post food. You see it all the time on my story if you watch it. It's like the one thing I do, not the one thing, but one of my best things is I can make some really fucking good scallops.
Really? Okay, when did you know that you had that talent?
Oh, it's been developed over years. It's not an overnight thing to make scallops like this. But I got my whole method down, and they come out pretty damn good every time. Like I always think if I do something good, it's when Laura's like, we'll go out to a restaurant and she'll like order the scallops. I'll be like, oh, how are the scallops? And she'll be like, yeah, yours are better. And it's like that's like the best compliment right there. It's
That's the
all
best.
right.
Oh my God. Literally.
Right?
Every
All right.
married dude right now just literally was like, bro, right there with you. Because you know what's great? I cook a mean salmon. And
Okay.
nothing is better than when my wife comes home and she'll be like, hey, do you want to make your salmon? And I'm like, oh, you want salmon. You don't want to just be like a regular person. You want to try and stroke my ego and tell me I make a great scallop, which actually is probably the right way to go. So, okay, I'll go do it. And there's nothing better than when I go, I'll let her take like maybe a minute of biting it. So, how is it? And that look on her face, and she's just like, mm-hmm. When she's not even talking, just, mm-hmm. It's really good. You really outdid yourself. It's literally like it's up there with your dad saying he's proud of you kind of
Yeah.
moments where it's like tear down the eye. You're like, oh yeah. It's like Leo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time when the actress tells her you're really good, the little girl, and he's just like that's how you feel.
Yeah. It's like, winning trials is here. Your wife saying your scallops are pretty good. So
Absolutely. Listen, dude, there's not a married person watching this right now that isn't feeling the exact same because, dude, men will pride themselves on what they can do, whether it's barbecuing or cooking. You do a good thing, nothing better than that. Is that the best thing you cook, though?
oh, that's tough. It's up there. It's one of my best things I cook. I'll definitely say that. I don't know if I could pick a single best thing I cook.
Okay. Give me your top three then.
Oh, even that is hard. Let's put the scallops in the top three. That's easy. Um, I do a lot of potato and stuff like that. Like I'll do a sweet potato au gratin if I have the time. That's another one that's like when I make that one, everybody's like, "Oh fuck, that's so good right there." And then like I don't know, a good like just simple weeknight one I'll do a lot just as like a carb side if we're doing like with whatever protein, chicken, steak, fish, whatever, is just doing like the pasta with a little bit of oil, garlic, and red pepper flake, and that's it. Then you just put Parmesan at the end. I forget what is that one. I forget what it's called, but yeah, that just simple one like that is just so good on a weeknight like that. I'll put those in some of the three best things that Laura likes at least.
Literally, I tell people this. I have one client in this world. And if she likes this haircut, great. Who cares what anybody else says? If she likes this food, I don't give a shit. Everybody else is like, it's cute if you like it, but the boss at home, if she likes it, well, it's the best feeling in the world. Okay. You know what's wild about the way you're describing this? There's two things that I realize here. The first is that I think I'm right in that maybe I need to jettison part of this interview thing that I do and concentrate more on having grapplers cook during the interviews that I do. Because
That'd be fun.
I
Oh, that'd
want
be
to
fun.
start a segment called Meal Prep where I go to a grappler who's either cooking their meal prep or they cook something that they boast about. So you are now a leading candidate to walk me
Yeah,
through your
I'll do the
scallops.
scallops. I'll do the first episode. I'll make you scallops.
Oh, done. All right. Well, made that written down now. The second part of that is this. You kept promising scallops to this team of at least 5 individuals that you're traveling with. So it's just a team of 5, right?
It was the five and then my wife. Yeah, so I think there was like seven of us.
Okay. So you kept promising them. And then you realized that's going to be a little bit of a process. So then you basically pulled the dad move of like, haha, actually, we're at Fugo de Chao. You can't be mad at this. This is great.
It was kind of that because we were trying to find somewhere that we could seat us that we could get scallops. I was looking like on menus. Like I said, we were down in Jersey City, and it's like I was just like looking around. It was like, guys, I'm not finding scallops that's going to seat 7 people at 10 o'clock on a Saturday. We're going to Fogo de Chao. And they're like, all right.
Okay. I'm just going to point this out to your students.
We were all disappointed.
I'm sure you would be. I'm just letting them know. If I knew my coach is capable of cooking scallops, I would be like, that's great, coach. When are you cooking them? Because I feel like they are entitled to that. Not like I'm a lawyer or anything, but I am that asshole student. So I'm just letting you know that is some penance you're going to have to pay. But that's amazing. And I think you're right, because I think the hardest thing to explain to children who are now just starting is if they don't go do a, let's say, a PGF qualifier, or they don't do a tournament where there is money. You're like, this didn't exist. I think if you really want to be a pro, you have to go to do the pro things, because that is the business now. But before, you would do it just for the honor of it or for the incredibly low pay. But when you're talking about purple belts getting $500, that used to be the winning prize for a savage tournament, where you'd go, cool, your arm is broken, but here's $500 down on repairing it.
Yeah, right. Jiu-Jitsu's come a long way with that for sure.
And that's why I'm so pleased to hear that, along with the emergence of bigger players and more opportunities, we are seeing things for, people like where you're in. You can still take those people on in a big tournament like ADCC and prove your worth. Because I got to be honest with you, man. You and Sean in the final, and we'll go match by match for the rest of it, but I'll start with that one. Sean's a friend of the show too. I knew we would be in for a good match. Sean looked very solid throughout that tournament.
Yeah.
And you ended up proving your mantle and just being able to do this incredible finish there too. So when you have those moments and you saw that, were you watching his momentum the same way? And did you have eyes on him? Or are you a person that just wants to see him in the finals and go, I'm familiar with this work enough, I'm just going to take on the challenge that's there?
I really didn't pay attention to the other side of the bracket till it was down to the semis, because at that point it was like, okay, I'm probably going to go against the winner of this match over here. We can start paying attention. But when it was like fucking 60 something dudes on that side, besides when I first looked at the bracket, it was like, okay, forget about that side. And yeah, he did really, really well. He had a pretty close match in the semis, if I remember. And it was like, oh, I don't know who I'm going to go against. And when it was Sean, I was like, okay, two East Coast guys, it'll be cool. It'll be a good final.
All right, let's do this. Do you remember your run that week, sir? Do you remember match by match, or should I pull up something to help jog the memory here?
Uh, I'm not going to remember everyone's name, but I
You don't
remember.
have to remember names, but when we go
Okay,
match by match,
yeah, I can do that.
okay, let's start with your very first match at ADCC Trials back in October, sir.
So I went against, his last name was Strollo. I remember that. He was another 10th Planet guy. And the first match is always the freaking hardest, in my opinion, because it's like you got to shake off a little bit of the nerves and stuff like that. And I'm always a little bit slower in the first match, I feel like. And I think I passed his guard a couple times. I got points. I beat him on points though. I think it was 3-0. I think I passed and just kind of like held at the end. But it was just kind of like, all right, let's go out there. Let's just get the first one done. We don't have to do anything crazy or anything like that, and just spend a little time on the mat to like kind of get in the right mindset and get going for the weekend. But yeah, guy was good. I couldn't submit him. I would have liked to have submitted him. He was the only dude I didn't submit over the whole weekend.
I, I'm glad that you bring that up, not that it bugs you or anything, because you had a pretty good record. See, John, let me explain something to you. This is so far gone from you. There are some of us who sometimes have to beat people by decision. It's not fun, but a win's a win. So there have been times where I've apologized to my team if I have gone to a decision with somebody and been like, that was boring as fuck. I'm very sorry. We won. Let's never talk about it again.
Zach told me in the beginning the old, I forget which Gracie said it, but the old, like, the match can win two ways, via submission or via going unconscious. And it was like, all right, okay, that's what we're doing.
I mean, the nice part is when someone starts by telling you that, you don't know any different. You're just
Basically,
like, that's my coach. That's what we're trying to do.
just don't do it.
Okay. You now have enough time, space, distance from all that to know Zach is an insane human being, but a very effectively insane human being. So
Oh,
I
I
would
very
just,
well know how. I very well know about Zach.
I just like the idea that you're crediting somebody here that you go, hey, bud, Zach's had a couple decision wins too. We don't need to get into those. We're good here, fam. It's just a good, it's a good thing to aspire to. So, what I like to do in our chat with our boys is sometimes they'll be like, yo, this person's a decision merchant. I was like, cool. Who would like to roll with me who is a decision merchant? And then they're always like, well, and I go, no, 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 don't call somebody out and be a dick for no reason. I go, I will roast you guys. There's no reason to take somebody down who's competing. But I would say still looked pretty good. So that's the first match of the day. What does the next match look like, sir?
I forget the guy's name. I remember that one. It was like right after the first one. I had maybe like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. But it was pretty quick. But I was like, just still like, like I said, the first one, you're always like, I always feel more tired and stuff like that. And it was like, oh, it's pretty quick up. And I was like, oh, whatever. But I went out there and I took the guy down. I got a Kimura and took his back into like a triangle real quick. And I ended up feeling great in that match. Like I felt like less tired at the end of that match than I was going into it. I almost felt like, because I had just like found my rhythm then, you know what I mean? Like that first one, it always is a little odd, but that second one I was feeling good. And it was pretty quick, I think. I think it was maybe like 2 minutes. And it was just like quick, got on top, passed the dude's guard, and got the triangle. So it was like pretty clean, pretty quick. And that was the second one. That was the last one on the first day. So after that, I was like, all right, let's go home and chill.
Fair, fair. I do want to point this out here because you're bringing up a good point in terms of when you start to take things seriously. Because for my own jogged memory here, I go to flowgrappling.com and I look you up, and it only has 3 results from ADCC Trials. Now, John, you did not just have 3 matches at ADCC Trials,
Yeah.
but
6.
you had 6, but there's
Yeah,
only 3 from 20, and this is the wrong date too.
probably. You may be looking at like one in like 2023 or something like that.
No, this is 2025.
No, I don't know. That's flow for you.
Oh my goodness. This is all over the place. Jesus Christ. Okay. Because it literally is Sean, Nathan, Cantwell. So like it's 2025. It just says 11/15, 2025, which is not the correct date. Okay. Anyway, what I'm saying here is this. I just love the fact that Flow Grappling on their records did the exact same thing you did, which was first day didn't matter. But I'd be thinking of like, it says that your win loss record for 2025 was 3-1. I was like, 6-1.
Yeah.
6-1,
Yeah.
Paul. Just saying, if you're gonna put a first record on there, guys, let's update that. So that's just my little caveat here to let you know. So yes, that is how your day starts. Round of 32, you go. Now we're at round of 16, which means you're going to the next day. On this day, it's you versus McCabe. And this submission happened so freaking quick, sir. Tell us what you were able to do in order to get a 37-second submission.
Yeah, I got a good one on that one. Well, like I knew the dude was a pretty good wrestler, so I just pulled right away. I had watched like one or two. I watched his matches from the first day, and I was like, okay, let's see if he can handle the guard. And I was trying to get under on the leg, and I knew he was gonna like start sprawling out of it. And as soon as he did, I snapped on that triangle, and I didn't think I was gonna get it. Like I just fucking whipped that triangle every time. But like it's like a joke, that triangle in our kids class. We call it, and like Flo thought it was hysterical. We call it the 360 no scope, because like I taught the kids that way, because I was like, dude, guys, like this isn't like a great move. This is like you just swing around and try and get it real quick. And if you get it, sick. If you don't, like you're probably not going to get it. Like don't expect to get it. It's like a 360 no scope. And they thought that was fucking hysterical. And that was like the joke. And then they're all trying to do that fucking triangle for like 2 months straight.
You bring up something that I have an issue with, which is that my students will see the dumb moves that I do. See, yours
Yeah.
work in high competition, so they should be trying to do that.
Sometimes.
Hey, listen, if you've got a highlight reel, you're good. I'm currently in the world of one of our coaches, actually the main owner of the gym I'm at. He taught our kids how to do an Eminari roll.
Okay.
Great, you should learn those things. I have
No,
no
of
beef
course.
with that. But he's trying to teach him an Eminari roll into a heel hook. Here's the little secret. He has never once caught me with that. And I'm kind of the resident leg lock guy at our gym, which is saying a lot, but okay. So here I have all these children trying to do this Eminari roll into a heel hook. And they're all looking like chickens with their heads cut off. And then I'm looking at him like, you did this. I'm not even saying it's bad to teach an Eminari, but when he's like, yeah, you do this and then you roll and then you got a heel hook and then done. And I go, oh my God, I have to deal with this every day now. So when we have wrestling rounds, just wrestling, I see these kids doing an Eminari roll and I go, this is literally done to make me angry. Like this is my punishment for just coaching here. And we're talking me going, guys, there's going to be days when I say no Eminari roll. For the love of God, please don't.
You got to do it. Banned.
And guess what? Next thing you know, they'll see coach do it. And then they saw him do it once to me. And I go, do you guys remember how that ended? They're like, oh yeah, didn't you heel hook him? And I go, yeah, I let him do it so that I get closer to a heel hook because I can't out wrestle him. So I was like, you idiot, you're better at wrestling than me. That's what you get. So yeah, that's when you have an issue, John. You doing it at a big competition, that's a minor inconvenience, but you're going to run into somebody, I guarantee you, that's going to make that their move at your gym.
Yeah, right.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to your next match, sir.
Who was next? It was Nathan Haddad. Yeah, Nathan Haddad. Troy Barnum. That was another pretty quick one. I pulled on that one. I got a shoulder crunch, and as soon as I got that shoulder crunch, he went to pull back out of it, and I just like felt how tight it was on him, and I was like, oh, I got this. I just kicked right into that Troy bar. That was another pretty quick one, if I do remember. But at that point, that was like, we're in flow state. We're going for it. Those matches were pretty quick together, too.
Yeah, and again, similar, different thing here. Nate is a friend of the show too, so there was definitely a moment where I was like, dude, I'm so happy. Oh, that's gonna be a tough pull. Okay. So I saw the two of you have it. I was very happy for you. I thought that was a great performance. And now you're getting pretty close. So now it's hard to maintain that sort of composure. How have you over the years been able to, when you're that close, not lose sight of over or under thinking what the reality is? Because some people overanalyze it or they blow it up to proportion and then they can't necessarily accomplish because they think it's so beyond them. And then some people don't give it the right amount. So it's a kind of balancing act. How have you been able to maintain a solid level as you go into those high competitions like that?
I don't know if I always have been able to. I've done enough tournaments over the years from, wrestling as a kid and then doing jiu-jitsu where it's like you get close and sometimes you get through and sometimes you don't. And it's just kind of like at that point, it's just like you got to just keep going as hard as you can and just keep trying. There's no like necessarily like freaking myself out about like getting first or anything like that. It's just like, all right, let's see what we can do today. And that day I was feeling really, really good. So it was like I was very just like, all right, one match at a time. Let's see where this goes. But like we've come all this way. Let's was get it in. It would really suck to have to do West Coast trials after all this.
I mean, yes, I hear what you're saying. I feel like anytime we look at our own competition, we're probably over saying, like, I don't know if I've always understood this, but you've also picked up tricks along the way. Is there anything that's helped you kind of stay calm or anything that's helped you maintain a good level? Because at least from the outside, when we're watching you, you look very composed, and I don't see you really getting off of being locked in when you're in those big moments.
Hmm. This time I definitely was locked in, and um, I don't know what helps me do that. I think it's just experience at this point, like I've done it enough times that, we'll see where it falls. When you're there that day, you just got to keep doing your best, keep going for it. There's not necessarily anything that keeps me there except maybe that experience. That's all I can really think.
Fair enough. I do believe the reps on reps do help
Yeah,
significantly
yeah,
when you're there. So it is part of the reason why anybody who has like MMA in their sights, at least from my kids who kind of wants to fight or be a pretty good grappler, I just go, you just got reps, dude. Like you have to learn what works for you and start learning how to dial that in when you need it and kind of not to underestimate opponents. Like all that's going to come from just doing it, and then you'll get the experience points. And
yeah.
what I do like to do for them though is I get a lot of people, especially close locally out here, who, when I do an interview like this, if they're local, I ask them to come to the gym and I'll roll with them beforehand. And what I do like to do is if maybe there's like a couple minutes, maybe I'll pick one or two of them and be like, hey, do you mind rolling with a couple of those kids? And I'll try to show them, like, I want you to roll with them. And they'll be like, I don't know if I want to roll with them, coach. And I'm like, what are we
Got to
talking
do
about
it.
here? Like,
Yeah,
you want to fight in the future, but you don't want to roll with this dude who looks like he might be difficult for you now,
yeah, right.
you know? And the
Yeah.
best part is I'm like, they don't even know the fact that I'm looking at the dude. And there's almost an unspoken thing where it's you're not going to kill my kid, right? Like this look that you have with them. And they're going to give them one of the best rounds they have, even at 70, 40%, wherever they fall. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just getting experience with somebody who's better. So I've been very I've made it kind of like this big point to say, even when you can't compete and get reps, if somebody's in the room that is new, that you've recognized or you see, seek them out. And worst thing they can do is tell you, I don't want to roll with you. And you'll be like, all right, cool, no problem. But it
Yeah,
is
you get that experience for sure.
absolutely. John, let's go to the semifinal match, right, sir?
Yeah, so that was Matt Cantwell. He actually just competed at finishers right before that. So I just saw him go against Sergio Villas maybe like I don't know, maybe like a month or two before that. So and I had seen him around a couple times. So like I knew he was going to be tough, but I knew if I just kept him guessing with the guard that I could get on a leg or an arm eventually. And that was probably my favorite match I had over the weekend. That was the one I felt like that I did my best in, I guess I would say, because I did good on staying on his legs and coming up and then dropping back on the legs and coming up and dropping back on legs and just keeping him guessing, keeping him guessing. And that one was just like I felt like I was just like a little step ahead of him the whole match, and I just eventually caught up and caught him with a heel hook. And that was like a cool one because I got the bite on it, and then I got my legs in afterwards, which I always, it's like the backwards way to do it, so it's always a little bit cooler.
Well, I do like the fact that you're like, it's slightly backwards. But there are sometimes you can make corrections in the moment. As long as you know what
Yeah, it
you're
was one of
supposed to
those. Yeah,
hit,
yeah, yeah.
you're good. I had one of my students yesterday, they asked me something where they go, hey, coach, I think I was teaching them like a head and arm choke. And they're like, do you get the grip before you move? And I had to think about it because I was like, I don't know, dude. I
What
just
do I
feel
do? Yeah.
like I choke the dude. That's all I'm doing. Like, why are you asking this dumb monkey what the hell he does? I don't know what I'm doing. And I just told him, I'm like, if you know what you need to do, it'll be better if you have a plan, but you also have to learn how to make shit work. when you're
Yeah.
in the thick of it.
hmm I always tell the guys when they're drilling, like if you mess it up halfway through, like don't just stop. You got to make it work because it's like you're gonna fuck it up a lot. I fuck stuff up all the time, but I make it work, so it doesn't look like I did.
Oh, for sure. And I think the big element is that's a skill into itself that you learn in competition
100%.
is because sometimes somebody gives you something and you go, I didn't, oh, wait, no, this is the thing. Oh, we did
Yeah,
this. Oh, shit. Okay, cool. And then you literally look at somebody and you go, they'll be like, Coach, how'd you do that? I go, he messed up.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I just recognized he put something in the wrong spot. And I said, thank you.
I feel like that happens just as much at like competitions.
Well, that is for sure. But now we go to your final match. We previewed it a little bit earlier with you versus Sean. What was that match like for you? Talk us through that, sir.
I was pretty confident going into that match. Another Sean's another one who he's competed a million times at finisher, so I've seen a ton of his matches over the years. So I kind of knew what he was going to try and do and like what his best shit was and like how he set stuff up. So I knew we couldn't pull obviously in the finals or anything like that. So it's like okay, I'm going to wrestle him, and I had kind of had an idea of what he was going to do, and I knew that he had had a lot harder matches than I had. So I knew I could take advantage of that a little bit and just really hand fight with him for a while on the feet, with it being the longer round, the fact that he couldn't pull either. And, like I said, the fact that I knew he had a lot more miles on him from the weekend, I knew I could just hand fight him, wear him down, wear him down. And then I found that opening to get the underhook. I knew he does Russian tie a lot, and I knew I could switch it right into the underhook and throw him by hard off of it, especially because like the finals they give you all the mat, so it's basically just like fucking run at them these takedowns. You're not going out of bounds, like it's going to work. And yeah, that was the game plan, and it worked perfectly. As soon as I got him down, then I was like, all right. I heard my buddy Chaz from Essential like yelling like, just keep him between your knees. um, and I was like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. And then once I got the opening, I got the body triangle in. It was like, all right, now we're going all gas because I knew he was beat by then. I knew he was tired. And I got that body triangle. I knew I could put him flat with it. And that's what did it more than anything was just really getting my hips into him. Yeah, getting that face crank. And it was a great win.
John, can we go back to Chaz's voice real quick? I'm an impression guy. So when I hear a change in voice that's intentional,
This isn't that.
brought out.
That's
What is the
terrible.
secret behind the Chaz impression that you're doing there, sir?
I don't know. It was just in the moment. That's like, you know how it is when everyone's yelling in a crowd like that, when you're in the middle and like fucking everyone's yelling and stuff. And just a random voice just is like louder than all the other ones. And it was just like, I heard that in the moment. It was like, oh, that is a good idea. And I don't know why I did it like that, but I did.
It's funny to me because I'm like, I'm sure Chaz is thinking like, wow, that's not how I sound, right? I think that was supposed to be a compliment, but I think the dude just changed how my voice probably sounded because I was like, oh, yeah, if I was doing impressions, I go for acting.
Did him dirty on that one.
You did. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Because the thing is, I don't know, chat. That might be exactly how he sounds. And I look like the idiot. So I don't know.
No, I did him dirty on that one.
So, John, what is the celebration for you like when you do end up winning? You took your boys to Fugo de Chao, but this is you. This is the lady.
That night, what we
What'd you
fucking
do?
did that night?
What'd you
We
do?
went to Fogo de Chao again.
No.
I swear to Christ, we did. Because again, it was like we had like 10 dudes, and it's like we all want to go out and celebrate. We all want to drink and stuff like that. And I'm looking at like steakhouses and stuff like that, and I'm calling, and they're like, yo, no, you're not getting in with 10 people. So Fogo de Chao is a good, solid backup when you were traveling with a large group.
Okay. I'm not even. Laura was busy then too. She's the one I would expect to probably be the one together. Can I just say this in the future? Can you just make a reservation beforehand for the 10 people? Because
Dude, no, you can't.
what
You
do you mean you
can't.
can't?
You can't because these people are like herding fucking cats. They're all 10th planet people. You have no idea if they're going to come to dinner or not. Then you end up with five. And it's so hard with these people.
But John, I get it. I started 10th Planet. I know how this goes. And arguably out here on the West Coast, I have seen a rainbow coalition of 10th Planet personalities, archetypes, whatever you want to call it. You just make the reservation because you can cancel a reservation. Because when you're looking at this and then you go, don't worry, I'll get on Yelp. Well, reservations. Oh, yikes, not looking good. But I'll just keep looking. And then meanwhile, they're like, Coach, I'm hungry. Yeah, I'm hungry too. Guys, bad news. We're going to Fugo de Chao again. Like,
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I got the cheesecake that night. They gave us a free one because they screwed up Laura's order. I ate 2 cheesecakes. It was a pretty good night.
okay,
Got wild.
John, did you have time to take your belt back to like a hotel or anything before you went to dinner?
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. I had to go back to the Airbnb, regroup.
See, this is how I can tell you don't think things through. You can go to the Airbnb, you can get refreshed. That's not the issue. You take the belt with you. Didn't you not get an exclusive, very prominent bag that you can bring it with?
Bag. Yeah, I got that. That was perfect because we immediately put the belt into the bag.
That's where it's supposed to go. But you know where it's supposed to go? With you to Fugo de Chao. Because when you go there, you just pull this move out. John, you beat a bunch of dudes for one of the best, most prestigious tournaments in the world, and you left your belt at home. That cheesecake would have been comped twice, 3 times over when you just go, oh, and is there anything for this guy over here? Because then you get the extra sauce, sir.
No, I couldn't do that. I had too much shame to do that. To go
No,
to
John. Okay. Hey, hold on. I'm taking you off this. Listen, this is a direct message to any one of John's students. Laura, help me out on this one. If he is too shy to do it, steal the belt because you have to do what happens when it's somebody's birthday. You have to go, it's that dude's birthday. You take out the championship belt. He has to put it on in shame. It's like what we do in sombreros at a hotel or like whatever restaurant you go to. They have to take it, they get shame, but then you don't get charged for the dessert. Why else do you need a belt, sir? What is it going to go up on your wall somewhere that you never put on again?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. It's hanging over the water fountain at Allentown right now, and that's where it will remain for the remainder of its days.
See, this is how I can tell you're not a true pro wrestling fan. Do you not understand how much these pro wrestling fans pay to have replica belts and then go
Oh,
to the live event? Oh, you know?
I know how much those belts cost because we've gotten them made for the finishers tournament. So like Laura did a match. So we have one finishers belt usually, and we let the guys like take it, do all the pictures they want because it's like a really really nice one, but we don't give it to them because it's so fucking expensive. But then when Laura had a title match earlier this year, I was like, hey babe, if you win, I'll buy you one of the belts. And then I went back to order one when she won, and it was like $1,000 for this belt. I was like, oh my god, damn it! I forgot how much this was.
But first of all, I'm glad you committed to that because if that is to all people, you could get around it, but to the wife, you're not getting
No,
around
no,
it.
it was like I had like messaged the guy as soon as she won, and I said the price again. I thought he was going to give me like a little discount for the next one, and it was like not really. And it was like, oh, and then like I kind of like waited a bit, and then she brought it up, and I was like,
Man, that is tough. Oh, let this be a lesson. Never promise the spouse a belt, anybody. Just literally save some cash because you know what? That could pay down electricity, that can pay down water, that can pay down bills. Because I think the weirdest part about it for me when I go to these pro wrestling events, people puff out their chest and they didn't beat anybody for a belt. And that is why I've always contended. And I see people, if they have a belt, I'm like, I think I should be able to challenge you for that. And because these pro wrestling fans look like they would be defeated by sometimes stairs, I feel very good about my chances. So,
Collective belts.
dude, and the worst is that I have friends who, if they go to the same event, maybe they're in a different section, they're sending me photos of like this dude's in 217, bro. I think you got him. And I was like, where? Oh, I see him now. Yeah, he looks pretty easy. And then all of a sudden you just look around and you laugh. But I just know how much people spend on that. So that's why I'm like, they don't go anywhere. So yeah, you gotta take your big belt and you gotta get the free shit. Who knows, man? Maybe they're gonna give you a free steak. In this economy,
It's unlimited. I already paid.
bro, maybe they comp you. Maybe they tell you, like, no, this one's on the house. Like anything they can do to make it feel better for you to heighten the experience, you have to take the belt with you, sir.
Next time we will. We'll do it when we win in Poland.
Thank you. Because especially if you're a foreigner in Poland and you just have a belt, you're like, oh, this belt came here. Where did this come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Then please, by all means, because I just don't want you to have to spend more money you don't have to. We asked about this, what did it mean to you? I'd love to know this because you sound like you have a great group of students that you've ushered in. And how long have you had this school that you have owned now?
6 years?
Okay.
Going on 7 years, yeah.
Okay. Here's my question to you. Amongst all the things your students have seen you accomplished, what was their perspective? Like from your eyes, what did they look like seeing you accomplish that?
Oh, everyone was hyped. You know how it is. Everyone's messaging me and stuff like that. And then when I came home and stuff, it was just like, a really cool welcoming back, to see everybody and you get to bring the belt in and stuff like that. And, to tell the guys, like I had said earlier, it's like, you guys are mainly the reason that I was able to do this. Like, yeah, I go up to Essential once a week, but I'm mainly training like with you guys who are just, average working hobbyist dudes who are good at jujitsu and really helped me out there. And I got to leave the belt out. Like we have a little like lobby area in the school, and we just like put it on the coffee table for a week, and like everyone was like taking pictures, and like the kids are grabbing it and taking pictures with it and stuff. So it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Dude, that's awesome. And I've been very happy to see, the progression of you because even though you haven't necessarily been active on the competition scene, I just take that to mean you're either rehabbing, you're in the shadows working on some new secret moves that we'll see in time. More than anything, especially when you own a gym, you know that time is dedicated with you and your students and building this gym. So 6 years in, what have you learned the most as a owner of a gym?
Oh, I don't know. That's I learned a lot. I think I learned how to be, a little bit better of a person. I think it definitely taught me to be better with people, more kind to people, more whatever, just nice to people. It's definitely taught me that to be a more social person in that way. It's definitely taught me that's probably the biggest thing, honest to God. And just ton of life lessons throughout just doing it for the past 6 years, doing my own business, going from, working as an electrician, being a small business owner. And yeah, I learned a lot. It's a hard thing to answer. I learned so much.
So, can I ask this just as a logistical thing? How much did being an electrician help when you were putting your own place together? Because that's the stuff that most gym owners don't know how to do. Or when
True.
something goes wrong and you're a gym owner, you go, oh, right, I have to fix that now. Yikes.
So definitely with our first place, that helped a ton because I like basically did all the work to get it ready on like pretty shoestring budget, but we got it done. But the second place, we had saved up enough that I was able to get like basically a brand new facility where everything was like freshly done and done very well up to like code and shit like that. So I haven't had to do anything at the new gym as far as repairs. It's been so nice.
That's a very refreshing thing to hear because my favorite thing about not being a gym owner, but being a responsible person is always be like, hey, and I'll contact our gym owner. And I'm like, hey, shower's broken. Bye. Gotta
Yeah,
go.
right.
Like, Even yesterday, dude, I was leaving the gym. You know, I do like a little S&C thing after I teach the kids. So I work out, finish my workout, closing up everything. The bathroom light usually automatically goes on and off.
Hmm.
Yesterday, it just went on and it wasn't turning off. And I'm like pressing the override button and it's not going off. And I go, well, that's going to suck for anybody coming here tomorrow.
That's their problem.
Sounds like a gym owner problem.
Yeah.
Have a good day, everybody. And I'm like, I didn't do shit. So don't blame me on that one. But yeah,
Mhm.
man, it is a rough business. What has been the most beneficial thing from being a gym owner the past years? Like, what has been the most beneficial experience or like best thing that you've pulled out of it thus far?
I mean, by far the best thing that owning the gym has done for me is it's bought me so much time. Like when I was working, like we would have to work like mandatory overtime all the time, and like I would just miss training a lot, and I wasn't able to train how I want to and do things like that and like live that jujitsu life. That's the number one thing the gym has done for me, like by far, is just bought me my time and given me, freedom to train how I need to be doing these events.
That is very refreshing to hear. Okay, so one thing I've noticed here on your social media as well is that you and the lady sometimes find yourself in like cool destinations. So I saw you guys went over and you were hiking and you were going out, looked like it was camping. Have you recently gotten out and been able to travel or do anything fun together in the most recent of times?
Not really. Well, we went to Worlds. We went to Worlds after trials, so that was Vegas. But Vegas is Vegas, you know.
Yeah.
I'm actually going next week. I'm going down to Austin. A buddy's having his bachelor party down there, and I'm going down a couple days early. And I'm just gonna hit all the schools in Austin and train. That's a trip I'm looking forward
Oh,
to.
nice. Good for
We've got
you.
a
Oh
lot of
my god.
yeah, and it was like that was kind of like my reward for winning trials. I said to Laura, it's like now that I'm doing ADCC, I'm going to do a couple like little traincations. That's what I mean about having the time now that I can do things like that, you know. And so I'm just going to go down there a couple days early. I'll go to like B team. I want to go to Six Blades Fight Factory. I want to see like all of them because Austin has just so many freaking good schools.
Hmm. This is kind of a hard thing to ask because I'm thinking about your friend who's about to get married. How influential were you on being like, "Hey man, Austin sounds like a good place for a bachelor party," or does he live there?
No, no. So he's from up here, and I had zero part of that, believe it or not. I had like kind of been planning on doing a couple of these like little traincations for myself. Like I want to go to like Austin, I want to go to like San Diego, and then I want to go down to like what is it, Maryland or wherever where Standard and that is for like a week and just train. And when he's like, "Oh, I'm doing my bachelor party in January in Austin," it's like fucking perfect. It's just like I'm just gonna roll them all into one thing.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
Because
it really worked out well.
it legitimately sounds like something I would have done as a friend that goes, "Oh, yeah, no, no, I mean, that's pretty cool. I would go here too." Have you like there's a lot of jujitsu gyms in Austin. Can we do that for me?
So he
Because
trains too. He's a brown belt actually, but like everyone else that's going on this bachelor party, besides one other guy, does not train. So it's like they're gonna want to be like boozing and shit like that the whole time. So I needed time before.
wait, so there's just one dude that doesn't train?
No, one other dude that does.
Oh, just one that does. I was about to say, I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh no. I feel like if there's one dude
No,
that
no, he
doesn't
would train.
train amongst a
Yeah,
whole
he would,
group of people, it's like, sorry, bud, you're coming to the
yeah,
gym
so,
too. It's just what's happening here. Okay, so at least it's just you and the other guy that are the
mhm,
culprits here. Everybody else is going to want to do all the other non-training stuff. Okay,
exactly.
good for you, man. Okay, so where else are you trying to angle to go, sir? Like, what else? What other vacations have you kind of identified then?
So I want to do that. I want to go like the other like what I consider like good areas would be I would like to go out to like San Diego and because then you could hit like Legion, you could hit Otto's, you could hit PJ's place. I could also go probably swing up to Eddie's for a day. It would make sense to go for a week because I could just see a lot of good gyms and get a lot of good training. And then I wouldn't mind going down I'm thinking about maybe going down to like where Standard is because Lloyd Irving's ain't too far from there either. And it's like you could get the two antithesis gyms, the one that doesn't drill and the one that drills a shit ton. So I think that
Mm,
would be a lot of fun.
Do you have a preference between drilling and not drilling?
I like both. I like both. The answer's usually in the middle.
So you're a normal person. Thank God.
Exactly. I'm not, sold one way or the other. I don't gotta. I
I
got.
don't understand why people think we're being held at gunpoint where it's, you got to pick one, man. It's not,
Yeah.
oh, so you got to, no, no, no. You got to either drill or not drill, bro. I'm not kidding around. You're like,
Mhm.
bro, they both serve a function. And most of the time, I feel like, aren't you doing both in some way or another?
I'm doing both, but yeah,
Especially when somebody just goes, all right, at its core, figure it out when you're there. And I go, we don't do that to somebody dropping in on the first day as is. So what
you could
logic does that hold?
you couldn't. Like, how could you run a business and expect it to be successful if you're running it like that?
So that is why I go, no, they both have their value. And I really do feel like there is, I think the best thing you can take from that whole debate, whatever you want to call it, is that they just keep the other version of it accountable so that, okay, you drill, but then the people bitching about ecological side are making sure to say, like, hey, drilling's not enough. Because if you get too hyped there, you're going to overlook the reality of the application. And the other side is saying, well, figure it out when you go. If you have these games that you're playing, that's really cool. And I go, great. Show me one person with a problem on how they learn and a learning disability who then just won't get it or have
Mm.
the wherewithal to know how to come up with a goal. So yeah,
Mm.
I think they're two sides of the coin that are very important.
Yep, you need both, 100%.
So, John, what are you doing these days as a hobby outside of anything jiu-jitsu? Because for you, you've been doing this for so long. I just wonder, how are you decompressing? Obviously, you mentioned food is a little bit of it, but is there anything else that you're doing off the mats since we've last seen you that has been preoccupying your time or that kind of gets you out and resets you?
Food's definitely the biggest thing, cooking and stuff like that. That's always like my biggest passion besides jujitsu. But besides that, like something we've been doing a lot, me and the wife have been doing puzzles. We get like a 1,000 piece puzzle, and we got this big puzzle board. And like while we're like watching TV or watching a movie at night, we'll just like work on whatever puzzle we have going, and that's been a lot of fun.
Dude, that's awesome. What has been the best puzzle you guys have done so far? And are we talking like how many pieces are we looking at here?
1,000 pieces.
Okay.
That's like our usual go-to because that's like it's hard, but like it's manageable that you're going to get it done within month and a half. We did one like so now that everyone at the gym knows we're doing puzzles because we put them on our Instagrams. Right, I got like 8 puzzles for Christmas, so we're loaded up for this next year. But we did one last year that was like a tree with all these different beers on it, and it was like the different families of beers, like lagers and ales, and then it would get into like Irish reds and like whatever American lagers and like different things like that. That it was almost like a family tree of beers. That one was really cool. That one was a ton of fun to do.
So, John, are you a beer drinker?
I like beer. I used to drink a lot more than I do now. When I was working and I couldn't smoke weed, I 100% drank a bunch of beer and like would go out with the guys after work. Like if you didn't go out drinking with the guys at least like once a month, like you were like a weirdo. Like what do you mean you're not going? Are you going training again tonight, Johnny? That's what it would be every time. No, I can't go. But nowadays, like the only thing I'll drink, I've like kind of lost my taste for a lot of beers. I'll drink Yingling. That's my go-to.
Dude, it's so ridiculous. There was one bar out here out in LA that had it, and I would specifically go to that bar because they were the only ones that had it. And it was one of my homies that put me onto it because I was a late beer drinker in my life. So it took me a minute to catch up on lost time and be like, what is this? What is this? Oh, this is trash. I don't like this. Or, especially as you make your way through IPAs, you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. It was like I drank so many bad ones that I was just like, I'm fucking sick of IPA. If I want an IPA, there's like three I'll drink, but it's like I don't need to try every different IPA.
yep, yep. And I tell people like this, I don't go home and drink. I will go out to drink and I don't go out all the time. So when some of my friends are like, oh, I cracked this open at home, I was like, oh yeah, I don't, man. Like every once in a while, if I got something to celebrate, I'm like, oh shit, popping this out tonight. But the amount of times I am drinking, unless it is social or with the lady, it's pretty low. Even sometimes she'll look at me and she's like, do you want a beer? And I go, nah, I'm
I like having like one,
yeah.
like not even every night, but like, a couple times a week. Like if I go out to dinner, I'll have one. But like I almost never go over two. And I've been joking because I said I got that bachelor party next weekend. So it was like over the holidays, there were a couple that I was just like, all right, I need practice for this bachelor party. I haven't had more than like two in a night in so long. So it's like on Christmas, I was drinking like a little bit and stuff like that. And it's like I woke up with such a headache the next day. And it's like, fuck, man, I'm 30s.
Oh, my child. It gets worse. I can tell you.
That's what everyone says, so I know it's coming.
It is. It is. So my wife actually, for one of my buddies' bachelor's parties when we were in our 30s, he threw something where I knew I had to rack up points. And so my wife was essentially running like a boot camp, being like, nope, here you go. She goes, I'm not having you be the sauce wasted dude. Learn, build your tolerance back up. And I was just like, fine. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden she just like she sprung one on me and I didn't quite understand why. And she's like, oh, do you want a margarita? And I was like, what? And she goes, this is teaching you not to mix. Drink this. And I go, wait, what's happening? What are you doing? I don't even want this. And she goes, nope, this is how the boys will be. And I go, you know, she's actually pretty smart because when I did go out with them, sure as shit, everybody wanted to mix. And I was like, no,
Now I'm worried. I didn't practice that.
I'm so sorry. Jon, you seem like somebody who will be okay. I feel like, you know what, the good news is this. You have earned it. The bad news is somebody at B team, if they know you're hungover, is gonna 100% take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah. That's why we're going before, so we get the
So
training
smart.
in, and then when I'm fucked over the weekend because I'm trying to drink with the boys, I won't feel bad about not training.
Because I think for we had a little vacation that I did for Survivor Series. I went to go see that in San Diego. And I then went to drink a little bit, not super crazy, but okay. And the next day I went to Legion for their open mat.
Oof.
And I have a pace I like to go at that's usually pretty manageable. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, right. This is a normal Sunday for them. They all want to kill each other. And a few of these people know me. So this is the only time they get to roll with me. So they are actively trying to murder me. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling that fourth beer now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that one's cooking me right now. And especially when they did this, they go, "Hey, Raph, um, just want to let you know, I'm gonna try an armbar you today," or they like said some nonsense like that, and I was just like, "Oh," and I couldn't even like tell them shit. Like normally my trash talk is pretty high. I was like, I'd like to see you try. Man, I'm tired, dude. Okay.
Just not in it.
Yeah, I'm just like, let's lock in, Raph. These guys are all there. And I did just fine. But it was a very fun day. And even Keenan comes up to me. He was like, what's up, bud? I was like, not now, Keenan. Get out of here,
Yeah,
Cornelius. I have no time for you, sir.
trying not to make eye contact with those guys.
Well, no, the one I didn't make eye contact with because I knew something might happen was Miha. And then Miha sees me and comes over and is just like, oh, Raph, I didn't know. And I was like, no, 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 get out of here. Bye.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here, bro. I am not
Oh,
on your power level.
oh,
So I feel like you'll be okay though at B team, especially doing it that way. But that sounds like an incredible thing. Well, sir, I would like to do this for you. One of the things I like to close with the people who are going to ADCC is open-ended question, interpret it how you will. But what would a win at ADCC mean for you, sir?
I don't know. Like it would be a crazy thing. Of course, I've thought about it and stuff like that, but I don't. It would be a huge point of pride for myself, and it would be like such a massive accomplishment for like myself and my own self-esteem and like just that whole thing more than anything. I don't think it would really like drastically change my life or anything like that. I already get to do what I want to do every day. So it's nothing like that. It would more just be like the self, I don't know, validation that like, I'm pretty good at this thing. That's what it would be more than anything.
And for you, now that you have this on your calendar, will you be kind of just prepping for it, or are we going to see you return to competition more? Like, where are
You
you
got to
falling in that?
for it. 100%, you got to compete before ADCC. Yeah, it's the thing you see the most with the people who win at ADCC are the people who have been active. The people
Mm,
who have been not active in between ADCCs usually don't do well. And that's going to be a thing that I'm going to have to do. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. It's early January. I got to figure out something soon for like spring and going onward, but I got to get a couple matches in, but it's also at the same time not doing too much because that was the problem in 2022, fucking overworking and tearing my bicep right before it and having to pull out. So it's like I gotta do enough but not too much.
yeah, it's a delicate balance, but I think you're right. I think the hardest thing I've seen for people is when they come back completely from not being active, even though they're active at their gyms, but not active on the competition scene. And you just look at them and you're like, man, that's a tough pull.
Mhm.
You know, also, can I just say this though? Since you go to Essential, JT's the homie. I love him. Can you relay the following message to him?
Depending on what it is.
That's a fair thing. Okay, fine. Interpret this how you will, then, JT. Um, that dude's not aging, and it's really starting to bug me. And I looked recently at a photo of him or a video of him, and like he's always in those like, man, we working, we're out here, we're grinding. And I was like, cool.
They see every fucking day.
I think I compared it to a video from him from like 6 years ago, and I was like, he still looks the same. And it started kind of offending me, where I was like, bro, can we get like a little gray here? Like, I just need to know something's changed. Like a little bit of the seasons have changed here. No, he looks the exact same. So tell him that Raph, a little offended. He's not aging.
I can do that. That's good enough.
Thank you. Okay. It's been a minute since I've seen JT, and he's one of those guys that I know having as an extra resource and having those rounds. He's who you want as a training partner for like
100%.
something especially as big as ADCC, because double champ does as the double champ does.
Exactly. Yeah, I know going up there will help me be getting right for ADCC for sure.
Well, John, let's do this, sir. I'm going to put a pin on this conversation for now, but I would love to
Yep.
put the camera on you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to thank, all the people, anybody you want to give shout outs to, your team, your training partners, and take care of any sponsors who take care of you, sir.
The biggest shout outs always are, to the schools, 10th Planet Bethlehem, 10th Planet Allentown, running the finisher sub only tournament out here. Those are the biggest things I always like to promote. Rolf, the first time I met you was at Ultimate Mat Warriors, and I mentioned about how I'd never really have a gear sponsor. I still don't really have a gear sponsor, but the closest thing we got is Stay Down. That's the company we work with for all of our gear that we do. We have our own like finishers gear, but Stay Down's the man behind all that, helping us out. So huge shout out to him. And it would take too long to shout out all the dudes at the gym. There's so many helping me out, but just everybody at the gyms.
Wait, hold on. You mean to tell me all those years ago, all the
No,
work
I
you
don't.
did?
No sponsor. I don't want one. I don't want to be making the posts. I don't want to. None of it. It ain't fucking worth it. I'd rather just wear what I want to wear. And it's like I'll wear Stay Down stuff because he's a homie. I
That's
like him.
fair.
So
That's fair. I can get behind that.
I like wearing like my own stuff. Like I wore like an Allentown rash guard that Stay Down made for us when I did trials and stuff like that. I'd rather just wear my own shit than have
Okay,
to
but
wear.
don't bring me into this, because when you
You
started
have
it
to.
like
I
that,
thought about.
I got really heated on the other side when you were like, "Hey, Raph, we interviewed 6 years ago, still don't have a gear sponsor."
I
That
didn't mean it
sounds
like
like
that.
Raph, your shit didn't work, and I'm really feeling a certain way about it.
No, it wasn't that at all. It's absolutely my own fault, 100%.
That's
It's like
fine.
more.
I don't mind that. You just the phrasing maybe
Okay, my bad, my bad.
a
I didn't
slight
know.
key difference in the way we're phrasing it would have been like, oh, he doesn't want a sponsor. Instead, I'm like, I'm sorry, what did you say about my show? And what did you say we didn't do for you?
Oh no, no, not at all. But we were joking, me and Laura the other day. She just got sponsored by Gaidama since she got her black belt.
That's correct.
And it was like made a post on my story where I reposted hers and I was like, she has more sponsors than me with a bunch of crying faces.
Again, just saying, if I'm reading it literally, it still sounded like you wanted a sponsor, but I listened to what you said and I know you don't. So that's why to me, hearing something like that is kind of in that phrase of like, oh yeah, well, buckle up, motherfucker, because I'm about to cut an even better promo than I did the last one.
No, please don't. It wasn't a challenge. It wasn't a challenge.
Because I can't tell you how many people, and we've been fairly successful. Um, there was a young gentleman by the name of Nathan Rivera, and he fights for BKFC. And he recently did an interview with me, and he told me his Chili's order. And Chili's, wouldn't you know it, their social media saw the conversation. They're like, "Oh, we love that," and I go, "Sponsor him." This dude legitimately just put over 3 of your appetizers and told you his order in the most glowing of terms. And so I was like, well, now I'm dead set on getting Chili's to sponsor that dude because he's legit a nerd dad that would like geek out on that sort of a thing. So that's what I'm telling you. I'm like, we can do some things here on this show. So that's all. All right. Jon, here's what I would like to do. I'm going to say bye to you off air in a second, but I want to really commend you for staying on it, dude. I know how difficult doing what you did is, period. Over the years, I've interviewed so many different people who have accomplished this thing and more. And it's so cool to see you get that return journey to go back to where you should be going to compete at. And you had an impeccable run. So the giant grin on my face when you were able to pull it off, it was worth it because I know what you've kind of had to go through to get back there. So I'm happy we were able to do this today to commemorate a pretty incredible ADCC Trials run en route to maybe even something bigger this September.
Who knows? Who knows? I really appreciate it though, man.
All right, man. I'll say bye to you off air in a second, but I'm going to close this bitch up right now. My thank you to Jon, the best, a sweetheart of a human being. But before we get up here, a couple quick reminders. First and foremost, if you like this show, like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you don't know what you want to comment on, here is the thing we're going to comment on. In the comment section, tell me, do you think people should take their championship belts to the dinners after winning? Thus, if you have a medal or you have a championship belt, should you go, and has anybody ever done something nice for you when you have gone to those restaurants? So tell me, because I've seen it happen, but Jon here seemed to indicate he's a little shy, and I want to convince him that people get stuff. I think they do. So tell us that in the comment section. Check us out at patreon.com. That is patreon.com/grappling hour. $5 a month. See these interviews 30 days before everybody else. And for a few extra dollars, get extra bonus content not available anywhere else, including Roast Raff, Grappling Hour Challenge, Tape Study, Match and Fights of the Year. We ask our friends that at the end of every year. We got a few done this year. And much, much more that is only at patreon.com/grappling hour. Additionally, Grappling Hour merch, t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, raffsparza.com/merch. And of course, you can also continue the conversations we have here at the show at our Discord at Grappling Hour. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate your time. We hope you like this episode. And that's going to do it for us here today. As always, it's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.